been a long time since I've been here.
Oh, wow.
It's not as big as what I thought, but I wanna see Blondie.
Yeah, well, it's
You'll-
not
you'll
here.
explain that.
It's not
Oh, it's
here.
not here?
Yeah, I'll
Wow.
explain all that in a minute. Here, I'll get out of your way. Yeah, if everybody, when you come in, let's all just kind of go over there, and that way I give everybody room to see everything here. That's about their best age right there. Downhill after that. It is, yeah. Let's, I was just saying, let's everybody just kind of go over that way against the glass, sort of, and we'll, that way everybody can get in and see everything. There's more people coming? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, Lord bless y'all, and, what we'll do is we'll just go around, I'll explain all the things in here, and then if you have any questions, you let me know later, and I'll try to explain it to you. You can take all the pictures you want. It's usually better to wait till after I get done explaining everything, that way you have a chance to hear everything. Invariably, people are taking pictures and later on, hey, what about this? And I kind of missed it as they were videoing and everything. But anyhow, I heard Brother Green there giving you the lowdown on how everything went, so you're versed on that. Essentially, when Brother Brandon built this, he had an idea in his mind how he wanted it and have the brothers come build it for him. And he was up here during the day and worked on the place. That was at the time when they were living in an apartment down on Park Avenue, about 3 or 4 miles from here. And everything was just done. He put everything in here just like you see it. And that's when they left to go to Jeffersonville for the Christmas vacation. That's when the accident took place. And so subsequently, he never spent a night here at the house. Sister Brandon lived here after she recovered from the accident. She lived here until she went to be with the Lord in 1981. My parents, George and Rebecca Smith, they lived here till 1998. And now me and my wife and boy, we live here. And so that's kind of how it all became. This area here, this was to be Brother Brandon's study. This desk and chair are the only things in here that aren't original. Well, that couch, we had to replace that couch eventually, but there was never a desk and chair in here. Uncle Billy Paul put this in here because he uses this as a study when he's here in the winter time. But anyways, that's what this little spot here was to be. That picture there also wasn't here then. That wasn't painted until the 80s sometime. That's, if you've all seen, if anybody's ever seen that picture before, that's the original of those pictures. That's the original of those York paintings, if you've ever seen it there in the corner. These are mule deer bucks from Colorado, and that was Brother Brandon's kind of his big hunting trip every year was to go deer hunting in Colorado. And he talks about on tape being there on his anniversary every year, and that's where he was when the storm come down in Colorado. And he spoke to the storm abated. The big deer there on the right, the biggest one there, that's the buck he called Big Jim, and that's the buck that he shot on that trip. He shot the deer and couldn't find it. The storm came, they stayed, and subsequently went out after that all happened, and he found the deer, and that's it. The pheasant there is from Iowa. He bought that mounted at a taxidermy shop there in Iowa with Brother Gene Norman. That's where he was when he told Brother Gene to shake the dust off his sweet and leave and not come back. And that's what I think of. The javelina there above the door, if you've not seen them before, those are javelina, and they're indigenous to the Southwest here. They run around in groups of like 3 to up to 30 or 40. And Brother Brandon was very fond of javelina hunting. And those are 3 of the ones he shot out there. Yeah, if you haven't seen one, they're really not that ferocious. They're kind of ferocious with their mouth open, but they're not quite that ferocious. The fish there, these are rainbow trout in the Salmon River in Idaho. And the one on the top was the world record that Brother Brahmam caught in 1956. He talks about it on tape, a couple different places. And he talks about it when he talks about Marilyn Monroe, the movie actress, and the movie The River of No Return. And that was where he caught the fish, was the River of No Return. That's another mule deer buck. The white animal with the black horns, that's a Rocky Mountain goat from British Columbia. And that was Brother Brham's first kind of far-off hunting trip in 1950, when he preached the series of meetings there in Grand Prairie, Alberta, and Prince Albert and all that in 1948. That's when he met the Indian named Chris Bird, and he befriended him and invited him to come hunting. Brother Braham went in the fall of 1950 and shot that goat, and that was his first far-off adventure hunting trip. That mountain goat. In the corner, that's a stone sheep that he killed with Brother Bud Southwick there on the Alaska Highway in British Columbia. That's the only sheep he ever killed. There's 4 species here in the States and North America, and that's the only one he ever killed. Next to it is an antelope from Wyoming. Lots of those trips when Brother Braham would go to Colorado deer hunting, they would swing through Wyoming and go antelope hunting also, and that's one of the several that he killed. And then the big fellow there, that is the caribou Brother Braham had the vision of that he shot in British Columbia there with Brother Bud. And if you all go back and listen to the tape there, I can't think of the name of it, where he first tells the experience at the tabernacle and relates the whole thing, the vision to the people there. He talks about seeing himself, shooting it and then dressing it and one thing and another, and then they go up and measure the horns. And that measurement, the 42-inch measurement that he talks about, is there's a series of measurements you do, but the 42-inch measurement is the length of the main beams, essentially the trunk of the antler. And you start down here at the bottom, right at the base, right there, and you measure around the curve to this tip on both sides. And when you do that, you use a 1/4-inch steel tape measure, and you go along, and because the horn's curved, you pivot it as you go. And it's easier to do with 2 people. And in the vision, he's seen the boy's hand help him hold the tape measure as they went and measured it. Come to the end, read 42 inches, he told the people, and that ended up being Blaine's offer. So that's him, still measures 42 inches today. Hasn't shrunk any, just a real testament to it. But anyways, that's him. Very few places you can go and see a vision. Actually, none that I'm aware of right off the top of my head right now. This is one of them. So, yeah. These are elk here with the rifles on them. That's an elk mounted above the chair there. These guns here, all the guns in here, everything in here, is Brother Brham's. Most of them, the majority probably, were gifts from people that, they loved him and they knew that he liked hunting and shooting. And so they did what I would have done. They bought him a gun. And most of them don't have a big story behind them where they would mean something to you, because he doesn't talk about them individually. There's 2 guns that Brother Braham owned that we don't have here. One of them is Blondie. Okay, Blondie was a Remington 721, identical to this gun here. He had 2 of them, pretty much the same. And my Uncle Joseph has Blondie. It's in a display case there in Jeffersonville. If you're over there, you can see it. But I point that out because Blondie was just a plain Jane rifle, like a Walmart gun, I tell people. Very plain. Probably the most common big game rifle of that era. And he had a lot of other, to my eye, much finer guns. And but that's the gun that he really enjoyed hunting with. That's the gun he talked about shooting 57 and had a big game with without missing one. The other gun that we don't have here is the gun that his first wife, Hope, saved the money for in the coffee can and told him about it when she was dying. And she'd saved up enough for a deposit, like $1.75 or whatever it was. And the gun cost $9, something like that. Anyhow, so he had went and bought that gun, and my Uncle Billy Paul has that gun. It's in his office there on the display thing right behind his desk. Over there you can see it there. Brother Brandon used that gun from 1939-ish there to about 1950. And then in 1950, he bought this gun over here on the chair. And of all the guns in here, this is the most significant one. You know, I'll take a turn, come by and looking at it later. But this is a Winchester Model 75-22. And this is the gun that Brother Brown squirrel hunted with from 1950 through 1965. This is the gun he talks about on tape, sending it back to Winchester, the parent company, and them arguing about how good it was, would or wouldn't shoot. This is the gun that he had out here at Sabino Canyon. There used to be a rifle range there, and that's where Brother Brown used to go shoot when he lived here. And this is the gun he had with him the day when they went out there, him and Brother Joseph. Brother Joseph was just a young man, and Brother Brown had the 3 thumbtacks, and he shot him in straight, he talks about on tape. This is the gun that Brother Brown shot all the squirrels that were spoken to existence with, the 3 different occasions there in Kentucky and Indiana. Yeah, and it too, just a really plain rifle. There was untold thousands of them things made. I've owned a bunch of them myself, and yeah, just very plain, but for sure there are not too many guns like that one.
So how old is that gun?
It was made in 1949, made in 49, and yeah, just a cheap rifle really, in the scope of things, but there ain't a gun in the country like that gun.
What caliber?
It's a 20. Yeah, it's a 20. This is the grizzly bear that Brother Bram shot on the same trip as the caribou. This is a silver-tipped grizzly. There's 2 or 3 different varieties of grizzly bears also. And this is a silver-tip. They're a mountain bear, and you can all come by and look at it, but the last, say their hair is, 2 or 3 inches long, the last little bit of it's got a kind of a white tip to it, and it makes it look frosty. The bear is, their hide's pretty loose on them, and because the weight fluctuates so much there from spring to fall and whatever, and when they walk, they have hide like a puppy almost, and so as it goes like this, it shimmers in the sun, and they look silver.
That's where they get their name. Wow.
So, these chairs are the chairs there from the den room where they had the formal pictures made of Brother Bram sitting here with his Bible and taking notes and one thing and another. That leopard come from India, and the crocodile come from Florida. The mountain lion there come from up in central Arizona, up by Strawberry, up on the rim here. Over on that limb over there, that bobcat come from a deer hunting trip in Colorado. Above it there in the corner on that other limb, that's the hornet's nest that Brother Bram run into with the lawnmower. And they come out after him and spoke to him back in. The mural on the back wall here, this is kind of a period thing of that era. They were very popular, several big murals in the home. And Brother Bram, when they bought the home, he really liked that, and he liked that style of painting. And so he commissioned the woman that painted it to come up and paint a mural here when the dinner was finished. And she come up, she was just a local, not a believer, just a local artist lady. And she come up and did a sketch of how she was going to paint it. And Brother Bram come up that night, looked at it, didn't like it, and erased most of hers and drew in his own and had her come paint that in. That's where it came from. He wanted to represent Pima Canyon, which is the last canyon here on the west end of the Catalinas, and the water coming down out of there and ending up in this pool here. That's what he was after there. Above the window there, those are 2 of the bucks that Brother Bram shot when he was on his honeymoon / hunting trip. And, there's Those are two white-tailed bucks from the Adirondacks. And that's where he talks about going, he was bear hunting and shot the buck and hung in a tree, took off walking, it started snowing, all of a sudden there's the deer hanging in the tree, kept walking around, there's the deer hanging in the tree again, he's walking around in circles. That was one of those deer there. This table here in the center is a redwood tree from California. Brother Borders Church bought this, gave it to him to put in here. This bird here is a golden eagle. This is about a 3/4 grown golden eagle. And this particular one was hit by an airplane over in Porterville, California, and killed, and the game department there confiscated it and had it mounted, and it was on display in their office. And Brother Ben Bryant, Brother Ben talks about lots on tape, but he bought it for him and gave it to him to put in here. So that's where it came from. This floor here come from up by Jerome there, by Prescott, by Drake there, and Brother Brahmam and Brother Banks Woods laid this floor. Over here at this pistol cabinet here, these are Brother Brahm's handguns also. As y'all get a chance, you can come by and look. And most of them, like the rifles, don't have a big story. Really the only one that would be significant to you is up here in the top corner of this case. It's got white grips on it. This is a high standard B model 22 automatic. And it's a gun that Brother Braham bought himself as a young man, and this is what he carried with him when he walked the power lines for Indiana Public Service Company. And he talks about on tape, you know, shooting rabbits and squirrels and that for people that were on his route. He'd give them for something to eat. This is the gun when he parked the service truck on the side of the road and went to cross the field to go pray for the man, and the bull was there. And he said on tape the first thing he did was reach for his gun, but he left it to see the truck, and that's this guy. This is Brother Bram's Bible. He had lots of Bibles. People would give him Bibles as gifts and whatever, but he had 3 that he used over the course of the ministry. Brother Joe Paul has one, Brother Joseph has one, I have this one. This is his earliest Bible. This is the Bible that he left on the pulpit at the tabernacle when the flood came through the tabernacle and rose up to the ceiling, settled back down, never got wet. Yeah. You know, a lot of other little things here, mementos and things that Brother Bram collected or one thing or another. Y'all feel free to just look around. If you have any big questions, you let me know, and we'll fill in blanks for you.